Hello everybody. Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will delve into the brewing storm surrounding Tracy Quartermaine, who might just be gearing up to unleash a wave of revenge on Drew Cain and Nina Reeves amid the explosive custody drama in Port Charles. With secrets simmering and tempers flaring, Tracy could be the one to pull the trigger on a revelation that shatters lives and upends the ongoing battle over Willow Corinthus's children. Join us as we explore this tantalizing possibility with enriched details, creative twists, and expanded insights, while staying rooted in the core conflict that promises to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Tracy's brewing vendetta, a secret weapon in reserve. In the labyrinth of power plays and hidden truths that define Port Charles, Tracy Quartermaine stands as a formidable force, clutching a secret about Drew Cain and Nina Reeves that could detonate like a bombshell. For a while, Tracy and her son Ned Quartermaine have chosen to hold onto the knowledge of Drew and Nina's clandestine affair, viewing it as a strategic card to play when the moment was right, particularly as leverage over Nina. Picture Tracy in the Quartermaine mansion, her sharp eyes glinting with calculation as she sips her morning coffee, plotting how best to wield this information for maximum impact. The affair, a scandalous chapter of passion and betrayal, was initially kept under wraps for future manipulation, a chess piece in Tracy's endless game of control. However, the winds of change are blowing, and Tracy's patience might be wearing thin. The once prudent plan to bide her time could give way to an insatiable thirst for vengeance, spurred by mounting grievances against both Drew and Nina. Drew, with his audacious act of framing Tracy for a drugging scandal that tarnished her reputation, has already painted a target on his back. The memory of that betrayal likely stings Tracy every time she passes the family portrait gallery, a reminder of the tarnish he tried to smear on her legacy. As for Nina, Tracy's irritation festers, especially given her allegiance to Willow in the heated custody dispute over Wiley and Amelia. Tracy's loyalty to family runs deep, and any move that jeopardizes Willow's position is a direct affront to her protective instincts. Nina's latest misstep, fueling Tracy's fury. Tracy's simmering discontent with Nina could reach a boiling point as new developments come to light in Port Charles. Word on the street is that Nina recently disclosed the paternity of Sasha Corbin's baby to Rick Lansing, a revelation that, while exposing a needed truth, has muddied the waters of Michael Corinthus's custody case. Tracy, though possibly relieved that the real story about Sasha's baby daddy is out, cannot ignore the collateral damage. The upheaval has not only complicated Michael's legal stance but also reportedly triggered Sasha's early labor, an event that unfolded with dramatic intensity at the local hospital. Imagine Tracy receiving this news over a tense phone call, her lips pursing as she processes how Nina's actions have once again stirred chaos in her family's orbit. This latest incident might be the final straw for Tracy, tipping the scales from strategic restraint to outright retribution. The idea of Nina escaping accountability for the distress caused particularly to Sasha, who endured such a harrowing moment, cooled now at Tracy's sense of justice. Visualize her pacing the polished floors of the Quartermaine estate, her mind racing with memories of every slight Nina has inflicted, from personal betrayals to professional meddling. Saving the secret of Nina and Drew's hookups as leverage might lose its appeal when weighed against the immediate satisfaction of payback. Tracy's fury could transform into a calculated strike, one designed to ensure Nina faces the consequences of her reckless decisions. Drew's machinations, a catalyst for Tracy's wrath. Drew Cain, meanwhile, isn't doing himself any favors in Tracy's eyes, as spoilers hint at his upcoming maneuvers to sabotage a potential peaceful resolution between Michael and Willow during the week of June 9th to 13th. This underhanded move, likely aimed at maintaining control or furthering his own agenda, could be the spark that ignites Tracy's full wrath. Drew's history of deceit, especially his role in framing Tracy for the drugging fiasco, has already made him a prime target for her disdain. Now, as he meddles in a delicate family matter, he risks pushing Tracy over the edge. Picture a heated confrontation at the Metro Court, where Tracy overhears Drew plotting to derail the custody agreement, her steely gaze narrowing as she decides enough is enough. This act of interference might not just anger Tracy on behalf of Willow and Michael, but also rekindle her personal vendetta against Drew. The audacity to continue manipulating those around him, despite the havoc he's already wrought, could convince Tracy that exposing his past with Nina is no longer a mere option, it's a necessity. Envision Tracy retreating to her study, pulling out a hidden file of evidence she's compiled on Drew. Her fingers tracing over damning photos or recorded conversations as she resolves to bring him down. Drew's latest scheme could set the stage for a stunning revelation, one that Tracy orchestrates with the precision of a seasoned tactician, ready to watch his carefully constructed world crumble. The courtroom gambit, exposing secrets for maximum impact. One potential avenue for Tracy's revenge could unfold in the most public and dramatic of Aaron's courtroom, where Willow and Michael's custody battle rages on. If Tracy decides to pull the trigger on revealing Drew and Nina's past affair, doing so before the judge's ruling could be a masterstroke. Such a disclosure would paint Drew as a secretive manipulator, a man who prioritizes his own desires over integrity, casting doubt on his influence over Willow and the stability of her household. Imagine the gasp that ripples through the courtroom as Tracy, or her chosen proxy, presents irrefutable proof of the hookups, perhaps a private investigator's report or incriminating message, turning the tide of the case in a heartbeat. The impact on Willow's side of the battle could be catastrophic, making her home environment appear messier and less suitable in the judge's eyes. Willow, seated with her legal team, might feel her heart sink as the affair is laid bare, realizing that her association with Drew taints her credibility. For Tracy, this move isn't just about helping Michael's case, it's about dismantling Drew's facade and ensuring Nina's duplicity is exposed. The courtroom, with its stark lighting and echoing silence after each revelation, becomes the perfect stage for Tracy to exact her revenge, ensuring that every resident of Port Charles hears the scandalous truth. The fallout could leave Willow reeling, her trust in those around her shattered, while Tracy watches with a mix of satisfaction and cold resolve. A post-victory strike, revenge beyond the courtroom. Alternatively, should Willow manage to secure a victory in court and retain custody of Wiley and Amelia, Tracy might still have retribution on her mind. The idea of Willow and Drew riding off into the sunset, potentially to DC, for a fresh start could be an unbearable affront to Tracy's sense of justice. She's not one to let her adversaries escape unscathed, especially when she believes they've wronged her family. Envision Tracy at a celebratory dinner for Willow's win, her smile forced as she toasts to the future, all the while plotting a devastating counterattack. Exposing Drew and Nina's affair after the legal dust settles could be her way of ensuring no one gets a happily ever after on her watch. This delayed strike might take the form of a strategic leak to the Port Charles press, or a dramatic confrontation at a public event like the Nurses' Ball, where Tracy drops the bombshell with maximum audience impact. Picture the shock on Willow's face as she overhears whispered gossip about Drew and Nina, her moment of triumph tainted by betrayal. Tracy could orchestrate this reveal to break Willow's heart anew, reminding her that trust in Port Charles is a fleeting illusion. For Drew and Nina, the exposure would be a public humiliation, stripping away any veneer of respectability they've clung to. Tracy's revenge, in this scenario, becomes a slow burn, a calculated reminder that she always has the last word. The emotional fallout, Willow caught in the crossfire. Regardless of when or how Tracy chooses to unveil Drew and Nina's secret, one thing is certain: Willow Corinthos will bear the brunt of the emotional fallout. Learning of the affair, whether in the heat of a courtroom battle or amidst a fleeting moment of post-victory relief, could shatter her already fragile sense of stability. Willow, who has fought tooth and nail to keep her children, might feel as though the ground beneath her has disintegrated, leaving her to question every relationship she holds dear. Visualize her retreating to the quiet of her home, staring at old photos of happier times with Drew, tears streaming down her face as she grapples with this new betrayal. The anger that follows could be directed not just at Drew and Nina, but at Tracy as well, for choosing to weaponize such a personal secret at the worst possible moment. Willow's fury might manifest in a tense confrontation at the courtroom gate, her voice breaking as she demands to know why Tracy couldn't let her have even a sliver of peace. For viewers, this emotional unraveling promises to be a poignant chapter in Willow's arc, highlighting the cost of vengeance in a town where secrets are currency. Tracy's actions, while satisfying her need for payback, could leave lasting scars on Willow, further complicating the web of loyalties and grudges that define Port Charles. Next, we will dive into a question that has been buzzing among fans of the show. Why hasn't Emma Scorpio Drake exposed Jocelyn Jacks for allegedly stealing her work in the race for a coveted position with Professor Henry Hank Dalton? As the drama unfolds in Port Charles, this lingering mystery has sparked heated debates and countless theories online. With Emma's career aspiration hanging in the balance and Jocelyn seemingly getting away with a grave injustice, viewers are eager for answers. Join us as we explore this compelling storyline with expanded details, creative additions, and fresh perspectives, while staying true to the central issue that has everyone talking. The heart of the conflict, Emma's lost opportunity. At the center of this brewing controversy in Port Charles is Emma Scorpio Drake, a determined young woman whose dreams of securing a prestigious position under Professor Henry Hank Dalton were dashed in a heartbreaking turn of events. After learning she didn't land the role of Dalton's assistant, Emma was left reeling, her confidence shaken and her future uncertain. In a moment of encouragement, her friend Joe Palmieri urged her to fight for her rightful place by presenting the professor with the original work stored on her computer, evidence that what she submitted didn't reflect her true talent or effort. Imagine Emma sitting alone in her dorm room at Port Charles University, staring at her laptop screen with a mix of frustration and hope, wondering if this could be the key to redeeming her reputation. The stakes couldn't be higher for Emma, whose passion for her field drives her every decision. This isn't just about a job, it's about proving herself in a competitive academic world where opportunities like this are rare. Yet, a question looms large: if Emma has the means to demonstrate her original work, why hasn't she taken the step to confront Professor Dalton with the truth? Could there be more at play here? Personal doubts, technical mishaps, or something even more sinister involving Jocelyn Jacks? The unresolved tension of this mischance gnaws at viewers, who can almost feel Emma's despair as she wrestles with how to reclaim what's rightfully hers amid the chaos of university life. The allegation of theft, Jocelyn in the spotlight. The plot thickens as suspicions swirl around Jocelyn Jacks, with many believing she may have stolen Emma's work to secure the position with Professor Dalton for herself. Fans are left puzzled and frustrated, wondering why Emma hasn't simply shown the contents of her computer to the professor to prove that Jocelyn submitted something that wasn't hers. Picture a tense moment in the university library, where Emma overhears whispers of Jocelyn's glowing presentation to Dalton. Her stomach churning as she realizes the ideas being praised sound eerily familiar. The notion that Jocelyn could have accessed Emma's files, perhaps during a shared study session or through a hacked device, adds a layer of betrayal to an already bitter rivalry. This potential act of academic theft isn't just a personal slight, it's a violation of trust that could derail Emma's entire career trajectory. Why hasn't she acted yet to expose Jocelyn? Could it be a fear of retaliation from Jocelyn, who's known for her resourcefulness and connections in Port Charles? Or perhaps Emma lacks concrete proof that Jocelyn directly tampered with her submission, leaving her in a frustrating limbo of suspicion without evidence. The longer this accusation festers unaddressed, the more it casts a shadow over Jocelyn's integrity, turning casual coffee shop conversations among students into heated debates about fairness and deceit. For Emma, each passing day without resolution feels like a weight on her chest, pressing harder as she watches Jocelyn bask in an achievement that might not be hers. Fan frustration, plot holes, and technological woes. The internet has erupted with fan reactions to this perplexing oversight in Emma's storyline, with many pointing out what they see as glaring inconsistencies in the writing. One disgruntled viewer commented online, "Emma should absolutely show her computer to Dalton." But let's be real, this is a character who didn't even back up her life-changing work to the cloud or email herself a copy before heading to the beach. The writers have made her technologically clueless. This sentiment captures a common frustration in an age where digital backups are second nature. Especially for a supposedly savvy student like Emma, her failure to safeguard her work feels implausible. Picture Emma at that beach, her laptop left unattended in her dorm, completely unaware that a single missed email could cost her everything. Other fans have echoed this critique, highlighting additional perceived loopholes. It's absurd that Emma, who's meant to be brilliant, hasn't figured out Jocelyn's role in this mess and proven it to Dalton, another commenter vented. It wouldn't take a genius to connect the dots. The frustration is palpable as viewers imagine Emma poring over her files late at night, the glow of her screen illuminating her determined face, yet failing to take the obvious step of presenting her evidence. These critiques underscore a broader dissatisfaction with how the storyline portrays Emma's problem-solving skills, leaving fans to speculate whether the writers are deliberately delaying the confrontation for dramatic effect or simply overlooking modern realities of technology. Professor Dalton's role, a question of trust and motive. Adding another layer of complexity to this saga is Professor Henry Hank Dalton himself, a character whose intentions and awareness of Emma's past raise intriguing questions. Some fans point out that Dalton might already know more about Emma than he lets on, given her history of protesting his controversial research at a previous institution. During that tumultuous period, Emma was among a small group arrested for their activism, a fact that likely didn't escape Dalton's notice. Visualize a flashback to that protest, with a younger Emma holding a sign decrying Dalton's methods, her voice fierce despite the handcuffs snapping around her wrists. Could this history make Dalton inherently skeptical of her, even if she presents compelling evidence against Jocelyn? Online speculation abounds about Dalton's true motives. One fan mused, maybe Dalton recognizes Emma from the protests, and that's why he's so attentive to her now. Did he want her as his assistant for some ulterior motive? Or is he just a creep with an unhealthy interest? The uncertainty paints Dalton as an enigma, perhaps a mentor with a hidden agenda, using his position to manipulate the dynamics between Emma and Jocelyn for his own ends. Picture him in his cluttered office, surrounded by dusty books and questionable research papers, his piercing gaze lingering on Emma during their encounters, leaving her with a creeping unease. This theory suggests that even if Emma musters the courage to expose Jocelyn, Dalton's preconceptions or personal biases could stand in her way, adding a formidable obstacle to her quest for justice. The emotional stakes, Emma's inner turmoil. Beyond the technical and logistical questions, there's a deeply emotional undercurrent to Emma's hesitation that adds depth to her predicament. The weight of losing the position to Jocelyn isn't just a professional blow, it's a personal one, chipping away at Emma's self-esteem and leaving her questioning her worth. Imagine her walking across the university quad, her shoulders slumped under the weight of disappointment, as she replays every moment leading up to her rejection. The fear of confronting Dalton with her computer only to be dismissed or disbelieved might paralyze her, rooted in a lingering insecurity that she's not good enough, no matter the evidence. Moreover, the betrayal by Jocelyn, if proven true, cuts deeper than a mere academic rivalry. These two young women might share a history of friendship or at least collegial respect, making the potential theft a stab in the back that Emma struggles to process. Picture late-night memories of study sessions at Kelly's Diner, where Emma once trusted Jocelyn with her ideas, now tainted by suspicion. The emotional toll of this conflict could be why Emma hesitates, torn between a desire for justice and the pain of confirming a friend's disloyalty. For viewers, this inner struggle makes Emma's inaction more relatable, even as we root for her to find the strength to fight back. What's next? The path to resolution. As this storyline unfolds, fans are left wondering how or if Emma will ever expose Jocelyn and reclaim her rightful place. Perhaps an upcoming episode will feature a dramatic moment where Emma, fueled by a pep talk from Joe, finally gathers her courage and presents her computer to Dalton during a tense office confrontation. The scene could unfold with heart-pounding suspense as Dalton's expression shifts from skepticism to shock while scrolling through Emma's original work, realizing the gravity of the theft. Alternatively, a tech-savvy Ellen, a new character, a computer science major at Pucold, step in to help Emma recover deleted files or trace access logs, providing the proof she needs to nail Jocelyn. There's also the possibility that Jocelyn herself might crack under the pressure, a guilty conscience, or a slip of the tongue revealing her actions to a third party who then alerts Dalton. Visualize Jocelyn at a campus party, her laughter a little too forced as she dodges questions about her submission, unaware that Emma's friends are watching her every move. Whatever path the writers choose, the resolution of this mystery promises to be a turning point for Emma, potentially reshaping her relationships and her future in Port Charles. Until then, the question of why she hasn't acted remains a thorn in the side of viewers, a puzzle that keeps us glued to our screens. Next, we will immerse ourselves in the electrifying developments set to unfold in Port Charles during the week of June 9th to 13th, 2025, as courtroom battles, family farewells, and hidden tensions take center stage. From the explosive custody hearing between Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate to poignant goodbyes and surprising alliances, this week promises a roller coaster of emotions for fans. Join us as we unpack these gripping storylines with expanded details, creative flourishes, and fresh insights, while staying true to the core drama that keeps us hooked on General Hospital. Custody chaos, Michael and Willow's courtroom clash. The hallowed halls of the Port Charles courthouse are set to reverberate with drama this week as Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate continue their fierce battle for custody of their children, Wiley and Amelia. Last week's hearing was dramatically interrupted when Sasha Corbin went into labor on the courtroom floor, giving birth to little Daisy Corinthos, with Willow herself stepping in to deliver the baby amidst gasps and chaos. Picture the surreal scene: Willow, her hands trembling yet steady, guiding Sasha through the birth as stunned onlookers, including a shell-shocked Michael, watch a new life enter the world amid a storm of legal strife. The raw emotion of that moment lingers as the custody fight resumes, with both sides more determined than ever to claim victory. Before the hearing recommences, Michael drops a bombshell on his family: Carly Spencer, Sonny Corinthos, and Jason Morgan, that catches them completely off guard. Perhaps he reveals a risky legal strategy or a personal decision that shifts the dynamics of their support, leaving Carly's Joe on the floor at the Metro Court as she processes the implications. Inside the courtroom, Willow stands her ground with a fiery resolve, her voice cutting through the tension as she fights not just for her children, but for her dignity after the public humiliation of Sasha's revelation. The fireworks explode as accusations fly, with Michael's attorney possibly dragging up past indiscretions while Willow counters with a passionate plea about her unwavering love for her kids. This clash isn't just a legal proceeding, it's a brutal dissection of their fractured marriage, played out for all of Port Charles to witness. Nina and Drew, a storm of anger and secrets. As the custody battle rages, Nina Reeves finds herself on a collision course with fury, her protective instincts over Willow igniting a warpath that could target anyone standing in her daughter's way. Nina's eyes might blaze with determination as she storms into the courthouse, ready to confront Michael or even Carly over their relentless pursuit to strip Willow of her children. Imagine her in a quiet corner of the Metro Court, plotting her next move with a trusted confidant, her manicured nails tapping against a glass of untouched wine as she wrestles with how far she's willing to go. Nina's actions this week could escalate the drama, potentially unearthing secrets or forging uneasy alliances to bolster Willow's case. Meanwhile, Drew Kane seethes with discontent, his frustration boiling over as he discovers something Willow did behind his back, perhaps a strategic move in court or a personal decision that undermines his influence. Picture Drew pacing outside the courtroom, his usually composed demeanor cracking as he mutters under his breath about betrayal. When Drew stoops to a new low, maybe leaking a damaging rumor or sabotaging a potential settlement, hell breaks loose, setting off a chain reaction of confrontations. The fallout could see Willow turning on Drew in a heated exchange at the Quartermain mansion, her trust shattered as she realizes his support comes with hidden agendas. Drew's descent into pettiness promises to add fuel to an already raging fire, leaving viewers wondering just how deep his bitterness runs. Elizabeth's resolve, a decision on Lucky. Away from the courtroom drama, Elizabeth Weber finds solace in a choice she made, turning down Lucky Spencer's marriage proposal, and opens up to Lucas Jones about the reasoning behind her refusal. Sitting in a quiet corner of General Hospital's break room, Elizabeth might pour her heart out over a lukewarm cup of coffee, explaining how Lucky's inability to stay rooted in one place confirmed her fears. She knew a life with him would mean constant uncertainty, a revolving door of goodbyes that she couldn't bear to subject her children to again. Lucas, ever the compassionate listener, might offer a reassuring nod, reflecting on his own tumultuous romantic history as Elizabeth wipes away a stray tear. Her intuition proves correct when, mere minutes after her rejection, Lucky decides to leave Port Charles once more, proving he's truly his father Luke Spencer's son, restless and inbound. The goodbye scenes with his sister Lula Spencer and mother Laura Spencer are tender yet bittersweet, unfolding perhaps at the Spencer family home, where old photographs line the walls as silent witnesses to a lifetime of absences. Lucky might clasp Lulu's hand, promising to call more often, while Laura hides her pain behind a brave smile, knowing her son's heart is never fully in one place. For Lucky, Port Charles holds nothing despite having a teenage son, Aiden, still in high school, who yearns for his father's presence. This departure underscores Lucky's nomadic nature, leaving fans to ponder the emotional void he leaves behind. Tracy's maneuvers, caution, and challenges. Tracy Quartermain has a packed week ahead, weaving her web of influence with characteristic cunning as she first offers words of caution to an undisclosed party, perhaps a family member teetering on a risky decision. Imagine Tracy in her opulent study, her voice laced with stern wisdom as she advises against rash actions, her gaze piercing through gold-rimmed glasses. This warning could tie into the custody battle or another brewing quartermain conflict, showcasing Tracy's knack for seeing the bigger picture. Her protective streak shines as she seeks to shield her kin from potential fallout, her tone both commanding and laced with concern over a tray of untouched scones. Later, Tracy issues a bold challenge to her old frenemy Alexis Davis, reigniting a rivalry that simmered for years. Picture them at the Metro Court bar, Tracy's smirk sharp as she proposes a high-stakes wager or a test of wits, possibly tied to a legal or personal matter. Alexis, never one to back down, might meet Tracy's gaze with equal fire, setting the stage for a clash of titans that could ripple through Port Charles. Tracy's busy week of meddling and maneuvering promises to inject a dose of classic soap intrigue, reminding us why she remains a powerhouse in the Quartermain dynasty. Her every move calculated to maintain control. Felicia's mission and hospital tensions. Elsewhere, Felicia Jones Scorpio embarks on a brand new mission, her adventurous spirit kicking into high gear as she potentially dusts off her private investigator skills for a mysterious task. Visualize Felicia in her cozy home office, surrounded by old case files and a flickering desk lamp. As she accepts a cryptic assignment perhaps tied to uncovering a secret for a friend or delving into a hospital-related enigma. Her determination to get to the bottom of this new challenge could lead to unexpected discoveries, crossing paths with key players like Max Scorpio or even Maxie Jones, who might unwittingly hold a clue. Felicia's journey this week promises to add a layer of suspense to the broader tapestry of Port Charles drama. At General Hospital, a compassionate moment unfolds as Isaiah Gannon notices Portia Robinson's visible distress and offers a helping hand. Picture them in a quiet corridor near the nurse's station, Isaiah's concerned gaze meeting Portia's weary eyes as he gently asks if there's anything he can do. Portia, grappling with personal or professional burdens perhaps tied to Curtis Ashford's recent decisions or a patient Christ might hesitate before confiding a sliver of her troubles. This tender interaction could lay the groundwork for a deeper bond or a storyline where Isaiah's support becomes crucial to Portia's resilience, highlighting the quiet strength found in unexpected friendships amidst the hospital's chaos. Dante and Chase, a friendship on the brink. Finally, the simmering tension between Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase reaches a boiling point, their once solid friendship strained by a massive secret Chase kept under wraps. Dante, still reeling from the revelation possibly tied to a case or a personal matter involving Lula Spencer, can't wrap his head around why his best friend withheld something so significant. Envision a charged confrontation at the Port Charles PD, Dandy's voice low but laced with hurt as he demands answers in a dimly lit locker room, the weight of betrayal hanging heavy between them. Chase, torn between duty and loyalty, might struggle to justify his silence, his usual calm demeanor cracking under Dandy's scrutiny. This rift threatens to upend years of camaraderie, with both men grappling with trust issues that could affect their professional partnership and personal lives. Perhaps a late-night stakeout gone wrong forces them to rely on each other, revealing whether their bond can withstand this test, or if resentment will drive a permanent wedge. For fans of Dante's intricate storylines, especially those involving his family ties like his son Rocco Falconeri, this conflict adds a poignant layer of emotional stakes, reminding us that even the strongest friendships in Port Charles are vulnerable to the town's relentless drama. Thank you for joining us on the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. What do you think Michael's surprise to Carly, Sonny, and Jason will be? And can Dante and Chase mend their fractured friendship? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more exclusive updates and spoilers on all the drama unfolding in Port Charles, including the latest on fan-favorite characters like Rocco Falconeri.